they are too comfortable, and that's why they get themselves in trouble.
Yeah.
The devil find work for idle hands, right, and idle minds. So keep them busy on the wrong path. But I thank God for how we were brought up. Matter of fact, we were well disciplined, well mannered, but work hard. And nowadays they would look at what we used to do now, and your parents who can be in certain countries persecuted because they would call it child labor.
Yeah. That's true.
You got picking rocks and picking wood, they would call that child labor. You know, you're going to ground and you're digging and all of those kind of things.
Explain there what you mean by picking rock, because I don't think some of the people watching this program understand what you're talking about.
Back in the day, we did not have cream. This was before cream came. So we didn't have rock crushers and so the contractors used to buy loads of rocks, like we would call a truckload of rocks, from the person that would have those load of rocks, pick those rocks and put them in a pile, and then would sell them.
Right.
And these load of rocks there was no backhoe to shovel them up and throw them up in the truck. So therefore, you had to shovel, the men had to shovel these rocks with shovels, actually, and they had to go up in the air to land really in the truck.
Right.
So it was a lot of manual labor. The same goes for sand. So we had to go like in a rock hole and pick rocks, and you come with these rocks on your head in a pan or a bucket, and you keep throwing until the pile grew large enough that we could have called, for instance, deceased Mr. Daddy Scott or Mr. Ernest Williams. They were the ones that would buy those loads of rocks to build many of homes that we have here on St. Martin. And at that time, a load of rock was going for 10 guilders and 12 guilders.
You had to work hard to pick a load.
And you had to work hard to really get to that huge load. So you know how many tons and how many buckets you had to carry on your head to get a load of rocks. And then in 1964, I can remember when they started to blow up Point Blanche to build the pier for the Japanese boats. Back then, a lot of people in Phillipsburg used to go to Point Blanche to pick the rocks, because then you had a lot of rocks, and they would also do the same thing, make their load of rocks to sell to the contractors back then. And then we talk about Fort William, the same story. Fort William, you know, they cut down the hill there to make the pond fill that everybody's driving on now. You know, and people doesn't know, and they believe that, oh, it was like this all the time. It wasn't like this all the time. In 1967, they started to fill up the landfill there with the dirt from Point Blanche as well as Fort William. And I remember I was in the 3rd grade by Frau Claire Connor, and then we would hear that there was an announcement that they're going to blow up the dynamite. So everybody had to be prepared that these dynamites was going to blow up in Point Blanche to be able to take down the hill, to be able to get the dirt, to fill up the pond fill, and also they made a road into Point Blanche because it had no road. They made a road into Point Blanche to get around there where they put the pier back in the day. So it's a lot of work, hard work went into really building St. Martin.